I'm about to tell you something that your hustle brain is going to absolutely hate. And it's that you be hotter, happier, and way more productive if you just sat down. But that's easier said than done, right? Because if you're anything like how I used to be, when you finally sit down, your brain just won't shut up. And like, have you ever wondered why that is? Or have you ever wondered why you feel guilty when you try to rest? Like you're wasting precious time that you could be using to do something more profitable or productive, right? But you hear how important it is to rest and to slow down. You hear how it's important to break up with this thing called hustle culture. And then you get mad at yourself. You're like, why can't I just relax? Like, what's wrong with me? But then at the same time, you're like, I've got goals. I've got experiences that I'm trying to have. I've got things that I'm trying to do. And I get that. And in this video, I'm going to prove how resting will help you be the best version of yourself and make it so much easier to do, or at least take some of the pressure and the anxiety off. And by the way, if you're a Black person, the idea of resting just to do it, it feels like breaking rules that kept our people alive, or at least half of my people alive. if you get the joke. We come from grandparents and great grandparents who, would get whipped and chained on the account of needing to be productive for survival. So even though, life looks different now, we have more opportunity and more safety, debatable, at least in the terms of our nervous system, in terms of how it feels. But your body hasn't gotten the memo. And that's what I'm going to talk about. It's still running the old program. And it's just that, a program. We can change. Here's the thing. Nothing is wrong with you, but you have been trained, all of us, myself included. We've been trained into thinking and believing that, there's this way of living that we have that ultimately just makes rest feel wrong. We've been sold a lie that actually makes, the 1% or less of others rich. And the lie is this: rest is something that you earn. You have to prove your worth first. Your value is in what you produce and how much. And any time spent not producing is time wasted. And that lie is expensive. Like, it's costing us our health, our relationships, our creativity, and in all reality, it's costing us years off of our life. And the solution that we've been sold, fancy vacations, wellness retreats, supplements, meditation apps that we never open after the first time, these soft life aesthetics that turn into performances, further feeding hustle culture. These are solutions that we've been sold. But the real solution, it's something that's been around for thousands of years, and modern science is just finally starting to catch up to it. And by the time we're done with today's video, you're going to see how one simple shift, one simple rhythm, a rhythm of actual rest, can change how you work. It can change how you think, and maybe even help you work less and earn more by design. But first, we have to talk about why rest feels difficult, if not unsafe. And I kind of touched on that in the beginning. But if you grew up in constant pressure, money stress, an unstable home, being the responsible one, your body learns one thing: if I stop, something bad will happen. There's another shoe that's inevitably going to drop. You don't sit around like literally thinking these things or thinking that sentence. It's just kind of baked into your wiring, into your programming. And when you've lived in survival mode, slowing down feels like letting your guard down ultimately. So like, even when your life is okay, your body is braced like something is about to go wrong. Let me explain. You know that feeling when you go on vacation, if you've, been able to take a vacation, or maybe just that feeling when you have a day off finally, but you can't relax, right? Or maybe you're home during the weekend, but mentally you're at work. And science backs this up. Chronic stress actually reshapes our brain, simply put. It makes the being on edge pathways in our mind and our body stronger, and the relaxation parts weaker. Literally, it changes us. So, what happens is when you try to rest, your brain, my brain, will start scanning for threats. You stop working on the outside, but inside. Your nervous system never actually hit pause. And here's the part that really gets me. We actually used to know how to fix this and actually how to prevent this before it even happened. Before we ever got to this burned out, anxious, strung out survival mode state that a lot of us are experiencing or have experienced, before we got tricked. And when I say we, I mostly mean Western society, okay? Now, for most of our history as humans, we've lived in a work-rest rhythm, okay? And in the Hebrew tradition, they called it Sabbath, where it's one day a week where you didn't work, you didn't produce, you didn't transact in any way, shape, or form. You just existed. It comes from the word Shabbat, meaning to stop, okay? And it wasn't just like some cute perk or like some nice idea. It was law at that point in time. And it was also part of the design, okay? But then came the Industrial Revolution, where factories needed constant output. We started measuring time. Productivity became the new god, along with its besties of achievement and accumulation. And slowly we started acting like machines, like cogs in a literal wheel to benefit a few people at the top. And now it's glorified to be tired. It's glorified to hustle. And we place a lot of value, too much value, an amount of value that doesn't make sense on people that have accumulated all of this wealth at the expense of other people. And we measure ourselves by how much we get done, not by whether what we're actually doing matters necessarily, but like how much do we get done and how much do we have to show for it, right? And it's costing us. Burnout is so common that the World Health Organization calls it a workplace epidemic. Physical and mental health is on the decline. And it's not just because of food and obesity. This is a symptom of a bigger problem. Stress is wrecking our hearts, it's wrecking our immune systems, and it's honestly hurting our lifespan, our quality of life, exceeding levels of any other epidemic. And like the spiritual side too, it's affecting us. Like our creativity collapses. It's been shown that mental fatigue can kill our problem-solving ability by 40 to 50%, which makes it really difficult for us to even think and imagine a better way to live and earn. And I've come across so many high-achieving women in my coaching business where I hear they literally stop dreaming, they stop imagining, and that's because there isn't the capacity. And then there's also like our relationships are affected. Our relationships fall apart because we can't connect anymore, and it's impossible to connect when your brain is stuck in hustle mode, okay? So we skip rest and we think skipping rest is buying us more time, okay? But it's not. It's robbing us blind of everything good. Now, here's the part that matters for you and the part where I tell you how you'd be hotter and happier, more productive if you just sat down. You don't have to block out an entire 24 hours to start getting the benefits of this ancient thing called Sabbath, which was practiced back in the scripture days. But, there's a group of people that still live this way in 2025. And I was raised among those group of people. And I'll share more on that later. But honestly, for some people, that much stillness would be way more stressful right now to even think about, okay, you want me to drop everything for a full 24 hours? Like, I get that. And we can't even wrap our minds, most of us, around being in a state of pure relaxation and enjoyment for a 24-hour window. Like, that seems like a trap. That seems too good to be true. And like every single week, Nah, like we're used to earning that for a week or two out of the year, and like that's it. But here's the truth. The power of the Sabbath, the power of the stop, it wasn't about the number of hours. It was about the consistency and the quality of the stop. So here's your startup plan that I recommend as someone who was raised in this practice and has had to find my way back into it as an adult. Pick a block of time each week. Start with like 2, maybe 4 hours, and make it non-negotiable. Make it different from the rest of your work week. There's no catching up. There's no sneaky, let me just send one quick email. Set it completely apart. Set it aside. Make it special because it is. And fill that time block with what restores you. Things like slow mornings, sunlight, music, cooking a great, nourishing meal without rushing, spending some quality time with people you love without technology, and help your body feel safe in it. Breathe, move slow, notice your surroundings as you take a walk. Now, think of this as like a mini Sabbath ritual. It's not perfect, it's not legalistic. It's just a taste, pulling from ancient wisdom that was baked into our natural rhythm. And here's the thing, your body will actually start to crave this, believe it or not. This is what happened with my wife. And that's the sign that you're building trust with yourself. And you're literally reprogramming your nervous system to be more successful and abundant as a default. And you're starting to build trust with the fact that you can slow down and you don't always have to be on, proving, producing, achieving, accumulating. You can literally chill and it'll be okay. And here's what happens when you start to keep this rhythm. Your productivity goes up because your brain works faster and clearer after rest, and like actual rest, the type of rest that I just outlined. You also stop snapping over the small stuff because you actually have bandwidth again, because you've given yourself the time and the space to increase it. And your health starts shifting. Your blood pressure gets better. Your sleep gets better. As a result, your immune system gets better. You get sick less. You experience disease less. And then joy. You start having more moments and pockets of true happiness where you're not worried about the other shoe dropping. Now, there was a study done on people that make this a lifestyle. Okay, this is their religion, literally. There was a study done on a group of people called Seventh-day Adventists, which is how I was raised. And they keep a rhythm that allows them to live 7 to 10 years longer on average. And it's not just longer, those are happier, more productive years. And this is because they don't wait for burnout to recover. They don't grind and hustle. Recovery is built in as a natural rhythm, as a natural part of their life. And for every one day out of the week that they take to be completely restful and in joy and in resting and relaxing and delighting in things, it adds time to their life. That's wild. So they are happier. They are, hotter. They're more productive. Their bodies are in better shape. Their bank accounts are in better shape. Everything is better. I mean, this is just research, but it makes sense because that was baked into God's original design. So here's the thing, my friend, if you've made it to the end of this video, if you've made it this far, you don't have to earn rest. It's not a luxury. It's how we were created. It's how we were built. Okay. And, if you're a believer, there's a reason we were told to keep the Sabbath. It was given as a commandment. There's a reason God rested on the seventh day. There's a reason that Adam, his first day that he experienced was the Sabbath. Now, this lie that rest is wasted time, that it's not productive, that it's not profitable, this lie that's been stealing our health, our energy, our happiness, our relationships, our years. The truth is, rest gives back so much more than it takes. And I don't just mean the physical rest. I mean taking time set apart to delight and come back to slow, natural rhythms, that gives back more than it takes every single time. So my challenge and my invitation to you is to start small. Taste a couple hours each week that you've set aside. Protect those couple hours and watch how the rest of your life begins to change. Your work, your health, your peace, your productivity, it all starts getting better. And I'm willing to bet that if you did this, you'd come back on this video and comment how much it changed your life. So try it. Watch how your life changes, because the thing is, rest will steal nothing from you, but the lack of it is stealing everything. So my name is Sid Scott. This is the Slowing Down with Sid channel. If you like this type of content, if you found this insightful, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.